Yeah, eat, sleep, fantasy, you rockin' with the best. NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. We talking mock drafts, running backs, better follow the conversation.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Eat, Sleep, Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Dale. Thanks for joining us. John Chapman is here live and direct.
Do you see this, Dale? Do you see this emblem?
I love it.
There you go. Eat, sleep, fantasy, man. That means I'm an OG, which I'm not, but I'm close.
No, you're considered an OG. Yeah,
second generation, twice removed.
I guess, bro. We have I have a lot of stuff to talk about today. One, thank you everybody for joining us. John Chapman at JL_Chapman. He knows a lot about fantasy football, a lot about the 49ers, a lot about the NFL, a lot about rookies in particular coming into the draft, stuff that you need to know. Redraft or dynasty. We're going to get into that a little bit. I've got some emails recently saying, hey, love the show, but I can't wait to go get into dynasty stuff. So we're getting there slowly but surely. There's so much on the move. Man, I have a million things in my head. I guess I just take it one by one. One, make sure you are following us on social media at Eat Sleep FF, Twitter, Facebook, our private Facebook group. Look for us, Eat Nation private group. I have a really special thing coming soon. I can't tell you. And I hate secrets.
You do hate secrets. You do.
I do because I always tell it. I always say it. Okay, so
are you going to tell it right now after you just like?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to. Look, how about this? I'll give you a hint. So, last episode I talked about, John, you are an official member of the ESF Fat Pack. That is not a bad thing. Okay. But it
sounds glorious.
Yeah. So anyways, listen to this. So Eat Nation members only group, right? It's not even a Facebook group. It's nothing. It's just a members only, right? I'm only letting 100 people into this, 100 people. Most of them are going to be OGs, right? Most of them are going to be guys, names that I'd seen since day one in 2016, 5 years ago. And then maybe some, people that, just started coming around to us. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but it's going to be awesome. I have really cool stuff coming up. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned. Anyways, that I have a podcast. My wife's mad at me. John Chapman will be actually when this airs. This is interesting. So you get Eat Sleep Fantasy on Monday, right? This is Monday, March something, 22nd maybe. I don't know, something like that. It's Monday. Also, that just dropped. Go and check My Wife's Mad at Me, John, because you are my special guest for episode 2 of my solo podcast.
There we go. We are just together. Regular Bert and Ernie over here,
huh? The thing is, you have a clean-cut image on 49ers Rush podcast, and I destroy it in episode of My Wife's Mad at Me. So I'm sorry.
There we go. Let's why not? Let's bring it down, man. Cancel culture. What's the worst that could happen?
There you go. Right.
Just my livelihood.
So anyways, we are talking about, I have a list of 5 quarterbacks I want to talk with you, John. By the way, people that are listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube rather, at the end of this episode, I'm going to post some of John's breakdown videos of these guys that we're talking about. So stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll just throw up a couple clips that we can get it from John's Patreon. How many clips can you tell me a little bit about Patreon? I have been already talking way too much.
Yeah. So basically this was an awesome idea from a listener. I watched so much of the scout tape on all these NFL draft prospects and somebody was like, hey man, can you just record your sessions and share it with us? I was like, heck yeah, let's do it. So what I do is on Patreon, patreon.com, 49ers Rush Podcast, all the top draft prospects, 30 plus minutes going through the game film, not the highlights, what they do, what they excel at, what they don't do. It's a lot of fun. So not only do you get it, this film's not even out there on YouTube where I pull its scout tape from the NFL. So you get access to all these guys and you get the tape, which is a lot of fun and it breaks it down. And so it's just like watching with a talent evaluator going through what these guys are good and what they're bad at. And so it's a lot of fun. Again, for patreon.com/49ers Rush Podcast. That's where it's at.
There you go. That's awesome. The 5 guys we're going to talk about today, Trey, Justin, Zach, Mac, and Kyle. As I told you before, it kind of sounds like a boy band. They're going to be fun names to talk about. Also, John, if you don't know, I just wanted to run this by you. 2 things. One, I thought of an awesome idea. Never mind. I'm not going to do that one. Okay. One thing. It's not really an awesome idea, and I already oversold it, so I'm not going to keep going.
No,
but
you gotta let us hear it, man.
So I am taking old Nintendo cartridges and taking off the labels and making new, basically, new artwork and labels for old Nintendo cartridges for like updated stuff. So like I made like a Madden 21, basically like a sticker to go on an old Nintendo cartridge. So
I like it. I kind of like that. The nostalgia part
right.
comes like I play on one of those SNES emulators or whatever online where you can go play Tecmo Super Bowl. I play that all the time. Whenever I get stressed, I grab a beer, I freaking play Tecmo Super Bowl, and I have a great time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just kind of messing around. I like to do a little like I'm not a graphic designer or anything, but I like to fuck around in Photoshop, and so I'm making those. But that's what I'm saying. It's not a really good idea. The other crazy thing is right before we started recording, I got on YouTube, the weirdest rabbit hole I think I've ever been in. I looked probably 40 minutes of Uber dash cams. If you haven't been down this, I'm telling you, John, dude, I'm telling you, there is some crazy shit out there, and it is awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, everything from, of course, you got the drunk girls, the frat guys. That's a given, right? But then you have like, people running up to the car and yelling at the Uber driver. And of course, like 90% of it's racist. A lot of these Uber drivers, you know what I'm saying? It's bad, but man,
so
you go down.
I have a quick Uber story from a week ago. Can I share it?
Yeah.
Share it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm taking an Uber and whatever. It's an older driver. Awesome. It's dark. We're driving through Los Angeles. He comes to a stop sign, pulls out a magnifying glass to hold it up to read his phone.
No,
he can't read his phone. And so he has like one of those like giant Inspector Gadget like things.
Yeah.
He's driving with one hand and holding a magnifying glass over his mounted phone, right? I'm like, oh shit, this is hilarious. Nobody's going to believe me. So here's what John Chapman does. I'm going to take a picture, right? I'm just going to sneak. I'm going to take a picture. No big deal. I didn't turn my flash off. So I'm in the back seat and I'm trying to sneak it, and I take a picture and it lights up. It's nighttime, lights up the whole thing. So I lowered the phone. I was like, oh, sorry, man. Hit the wrong. He was pissed. And so I had a 15-minute drive where now he refused to use his magnifying glass. It was awkward. I'm pretty sure he gave me a bad review, but that's okay.
That's amazing. That's a good story.
So the picture was just my shoes because I like as soon as the flash went off, you know how it like double takes.
Right.
Yeah, I slammed it down. I was like, oh, I'm gonna die.
So one, he was probably pissed that you just shined a bright light at him. He probably didn't even know you were taking a picture. But
it didn't go well.
That's good. I don't have any crazy good Uber stories, but man, the YouTube you just type in Uber dash cam video. Oh man. One girl, like she got pissed off and got in the front seat and started going through his glove box and taking all his paperwork in his glove box and throwing it out the window. She was just, fuck you. And she was going off and he's like, get out of my car right now. She's like, I'm not leaving. And one guy, a group of guys picked up, I guess, some drugs through the window. And he's like, no, you can't do that here. You guys get out. They refused to get out. And he's like, I'm not getting out until I see a receipt that I'm not getting charged. And so like he's sitting there for like however long waiting for the email confirmation that he's not charged. It was bad, man. It's crazy. But you go down, it gets better and better as you go. But anyway, so for those of you, looking, maybe I'll post a link or something on Twitter when this comes out.
I want to see some of them.
Yeah, it's good. There's some good ones. Anyways, okay, John, not really quick. We're going to go through some quarterbacks. A couple of things I want to talk about really quick, especially when we're just talking about dynasty. Most of these quarterbacks will be grabbed up in dynasty, not so much in redraft. Maybe a couple. You can tell me which ones would be acceptable in redraft. Most of all, I want to know also, we're going to talk about cock blocking, which if any of these guys, you missed last week, me and Clayton played blow job, hand job, or no job. That was great.
God.
Yeah, it was a good game. So we'll talk a little bit about cock blocks, and I think that's it. I do want to know though, when you're looking at, okay, let's just start on the grand, because I know you look at a lot of tape. how much weight do you put into collegiate stats when you're grading these players?
So certain stats you pay attention a little more than others. Number one, time to throw the ball, right? So you're not going to find most of these stats on ESPN or whatever. Time to release or time to sack. How long does this guy hold on to the ball on average per play? You want something under 3 seconds. If it's over 3 seconds, giant red flag. Number two, accuracy on deep balls. How often they throw it deep. So you're not really looking at, yards per pass attempt. Those things don't really apply a lot. They don't translate. Passing percentage, turnover worthy plays, things like that. So I know a lot of people don't like Pro Football Focus, and I get the scores are a little arbitrary, but there are some of the data that you can collect that is 100% translatable. So deep ball accuracy, passing completion percentage, things like that, turnover worthy plays. That's kind of what I care. How many yards are just to slots and screens? That's a major problem with a lot of these wide receivers is they're just throwing 5-yard checkdowns the whole time. That doesn't translate to the NFL.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm going to go down my list here, John. First of all, when we're talking about these guys, I want to know good fit, if there's a good system or a good fit for their style. If these quarterbacks have a style or they're just adopting styles from the offense that they're running in college. Gotcha. I'm pretty interested in that. But I guess the first guy we could talk, and these are all, it's weird. Trey Lance is one of the bigger guys coming into the NFL. And he's not even that big. He's 6'4", 226 from North Dakota State. The one thing that jumps out for me, John, and you could tell me, but the 28 touchdowns, no interceptions, is a big kind of green light.
Yeah. If you just want somebody that doesn't turn the ball over and wins games, this is your guy, right? So boil it down to the most primitive aspects of football at the quarterback position. Don't turn the ball over and win games. That's all he does. Now, you have to talk about the level of competition being in the Missouri Valley Conference. Yeah, it's not great. But probably the most pro-style offense of any NFL draft quarterback, what they run at North Dakota State. It's where Carson Wentz came from, so there's a lot of parallels there. Super NFL body. He has the strongest arm in this draft, so if you're looking for a cannon guy, that's him. Now, whenever you're looking at kind of player comparisons, I stole this one from Daniel Jeremiah. It's Steve McNair. You go back and watch Steve McNair's tape. Big O. The dude could play defensive end like back in, the 1980s, 1990s. Right. But you look at Trey Lance, like a lot of teams wanted him to be a linebacker or a safety. That's why he had to go to North Dakota State, because he wanted to play quarterback. Fluid athlete. And you talk about fit. He's perfect for his own system. The North Dakota State offense, very similar to what like the 49ers, Packers, those type of offensives run. Lots of play action, under center a lot, misdirection, jet sweeps, and he's mobile. Probably the best running quarterback in this draft as well, whenever you're just talking about draft eligible or likely to be drafted QBs.
Okay. Now, when you're talking about, we're talking about fantasy football here. So when we're drafting them, and I think the teams, all 5 of these quarterbacks, I think you can name a few teams where all 5 of these quarterbacks would do well. Is that a correct assumption? And if so, where do you have your eyes on certain teams that people can be like, okay, if Trey Lance or Justin Fields goes to XYZ, he's a good go?
Okay, there's a few spots where they're going to be immediate starters. Number one's Jacksonville. That's Trevor Lawrence. We don't want to spend a lot of time on that. He's starting day one. Okay. Right. The next spot is probably the Carolina Panthers, and then this one kind of changed last night. Washington football team was the one that I would have put in there. They go sign Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's not the case anymore. So you're looking at immediate starters, Jacksonville, Carolina, that's for sure. And then you've got to go all the way down to Chicago. That's kind of the next immediate starter. Outside of that, even if somebody, the 49ers, Atlanta, the Jets, Philadelphia, Detroit, doesn't matter. There's going to be competition. And we know rookie quarterbacks usually don't start early. But you're down to 3 teams where if they draft a quarterback round 1, they're probably starting week 1. That's Chicago, Jacksonville, and Carolina. I know Teddy B, he's not going to be there. So they've been the most aggressive in trying to get a new quarterback. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater will be there long term.
If Deshaun Watson goes somewhere, Texans are in that conversation?
100%. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is Justin Fields. About the same size guy, 6'3", 228 from, of course, Ohio State University. I mean, and he had a great 2019, right? 2020 maybe declined a little bit, if you even call it a decline, but I think he still has what it takes. What do you think?
Athleticism, talent-wise, he's probably at the top of the list. You're putting him up there with Trevor Lawrence, kind of a king of all spades, like king of all. Like you heard the saying, "Jack of all trades." He's a king of all trades. Talent-wise, NFL body-wise, athletically-wise, he's at the top of the chart. There are some issues and some red flags. Talking about those crucial stats that we talked about that I look for, you don't want to be over 3 seconds average time to throw. He's at 3.18. 31 sacks in a shortened year. Takes a lot of hits. He holds on to the ball for a long time. He's a bigger body. Think a smaller Cam Newton type NFL frame. That's what he's NFL body for sure, but he takes a lot of hits. Super tough, plays through injuries. If you watched, the game against Clemson where he got hurt, didn't miss any plays, went out there, won the game. But that's kind of who he's going to be. Like he's going to get banged up because he doesn't process it quick. And he's in the most, and this is another thing that's rough. He's in the most quarterback friendly system at Ohio State. Those quarterbacks have struggled in the NFL. Because it's not the same. When you look at his highlight tapes, he's throwing to wide open wide receivers that are standing still looking at him. It's like target practice. No tight windows, NFL talent around him everywhere. I love Justin Fields. If you take Justin Fields number 2 overall, that's a good pick. However, for me, he's my number 4 quarterback in this draft class.
Now, how much of that, when you're looking at some of this stuff, and I know you are a crazy man when it comes to watching tape. So where are you when you're looking at stuff like this and like, okay, yeah, he has open receivers. You get it. How much of that is Ohio State coaching? And, how much of it, how long he holds the ball? How much do you put that on the coaching?
It's a system. Yeah, you're exactly correct. You kind of, whenever you're watching game tape in these pass plays, you'll see a couple plays and you're like, all right, this doesn't tell me anything about the quarterback. Okay, he just completed a 15-yard pass. What do you take away from this? Absolutely nothing. John Chapman could complete that pass. So you try to find ball velocity, is he footwork, all those things, that's fine. But you'll go 3 quarters without finding an NFL translatable throw that reveals, okay, this shows he can have success at the next level, or, man, it's just a big mystery. We know he has the talent. There's no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. But you want to see that he can continuously be active in this environment that will translate to the NFL and show success, and you haven't seen it. It's just not there.
Right. Interesting.
But so I love the kid. The potential's there. Just telling you, there are question marks because you haven't seen it yet. Doesn't mean he won't. You just haven't seen it yet.
So Trey Lance or Justin Fields?
Me, I'm taking the 49ers perspective. I am taking Trey Lance. If I'm Urban Meyer, which I know he's going Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields would be number 2. So again, it depends on the type of offense you have. Cowboys, I'm taking Justin Fields. I know they don't need a quarterback. I'm just trying to say there's systems in place where if you have a heavy emphasis on the run game and a zone scheme, I think Trey Lance is the perfect fit in this draft. If you're wanting a vertical kind of whatever, some teams will prefer Justin Fields. There's no doubt about it.
Interesting. Okay. How about Zach Wilson out of BYU? I think, what stood out to me is his touchdown interception ratio, 33-3 last year. Seems like a pretty solid dude. And that's all I know about him.
Well, it's weird. I love your headline reading. Yeah, this guy, he's a 3-year starter, and nobody even considered him really a draft eligible quarterback because, you talked about his touchdown to interception ratio. Go back to 2019, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Not good. But he had shoulder surgery on his throwing arm. He had a torn labrum, gets that fixed in the offseason, comes out, freaking just lights the whole world on fire. But you have to ask yourself, why was he a bad starter for 2 years? Like BYU wasn't sold he was going to be the guy going into 2020. So there are question marks. But if you just look at 2020, he lit the world on fire. The most aggressive quarterback that you're going to find. Kind of Brett Favre mentality. What I put was my player comp is Jay Cutler play style, but mixed with Captain America. So like you're getting all of the Jay Cutler, like arm talent, attitude, play on the field, all those things. He's just not smoking cigarettes and eating hot dogs on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Big time. Like, I mean, people flock to this kid, his mentality, work ethic, all those things. He's dangerous. He does not want to check the ball down. Like he wants to cut your throat, kind of Michael Jordan mentality every single game. Like it's not enough to get a first down. It's like it makes him mad. He wants the 30, 40-yard bomb every damn play.
So not knowing anything about watching film, right? If I'm looking at some of his stuff and I'm a coach, thinking about drafting him on my team, I'm looking at his old tape and saying, what I'm going to ask is, do you look at some of the old stuff and his old mistakes and look at some old habits and saying, hey, will he fall back to this? If he ran out of the pocket a lot his freshman year, is he going to fall back to those habits? Do you look into that at all? Yeah, I would think a little bit, right?
And so, kind of what I go by, again, this is my 49ers bias. Bill Walsh, who I think is one of the greatest coaches, talent evaluators of all time. Whenever he got done being general manager with the 49ers, he went independent for a while and he wrote up basically his evaluation process for every position. This is all online. You can just go find it and read through his stuff. It's so much stuff. It's great. So what I did is I took all of his writings, and I'm a teacher, right? So I transferred that into a rubric. What's most important to Bill Walsh, translate that to today's NFL game. And it changes, but kind of the way that it went, here's his progression that, you rank top to bottom. Accuracy is number 1. Number 2, read progression. Can you process through multiple reads on a given play? Pocket presence. How are you when pressure's collapsing? Do you drop your eyes? Do you take a lot of sacks, a lot of unnecessary risks, right? Justin Fields, that's a red flag there. Footwork, number 4. Quick release, number 5. Big moments, number 6. Arm strength, 7. Then mobility, 8. That's according to Bill Walsh. Now, you could adjust and change some of that. Mobility continues to be more and more of a factor as, time goes on, the Mahomes effect, all that kind of stuff. But whenever you look and you see, okay, what caused Zach Wilson to struggle that he's not struggling with anymore? One is health. I talked about the shoulder. He has a weird throw motion, kind of a Phillip Rivers 3-quarter shortstop type of a throw. And he had an injured throw in hand as well. So 2 years dealing with injuries. You see a full year in 2020 where he's not only successful, but excelling at all those things. Accuracy was off the chart. Read progression's good. Not as good as Trey Lance. He probably gets through the most read progressions of anybody, Trey Lance and Mac Jones. But his footwork and arm talent and big moments, they're off the charts. The most dangerous quarterback. So if let's jump forward 5 years and you say, okay, which one of these quarterbacks could be the best quarterback in the NFL? Some of them you can't say have that opportunity. Mac Jones has no option at that. He just can't be that. He's too limited. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, and Zach Wilson, obviously. Yeah. Those two guys, Their ceiling is just bananas.
Okay. For some people that are just starting to get into Dynasty, when you're looking at some of these guys, obviously you might have one of these guys that we're talking about starting, maybe. How long do you give a rookie quarterback on your roster, deep on your bench? How long do you give them until you just give up?
A lot of it depends on the format. If it's super flex or 2 QB,
sure,
you're keeping them forever.
Yeah.
Single QB, that's different because they got to play. You don't want Jordan Love on your bench and he's not even activated one game his entire rookie year. Right. So you don't want that. So you want somebody that's going to play. Trevor Lawrence, yeah, I think that he would be a top 12 quarterback his year 1. That's going to happen just because the weapons they're going to put around him, and he's active with his feet, all those different things. Number 1 overall pick, that's going to be there. But you want some running help, rushing, fantasy is still driven by running quarterbacks. That's just the way that it is. So Trey Lance is going to be number one in that. Justin Fields would be number two. Then you got Trevor Lawrence, but he brings his own standalone value just because he's going to start and he's going to air the ball out in that system with Urban Meyer. So you want rushing attempts or the possibility, and you want a clear path to play. We talked about the teams earlier where I think quarterbacks will start week one if they're drafted there. So that's key there too.
Yeah. Let's switch gears for just a second. Talking about Urban Meyer. What do you know? I mean, I'm a Gator. I'm a Florida Gator. Graduated in 2009. I was there for pretty much all Urban Meyer's Team craziness.
Aaron Andrews, baby. I'm all about it.
So where have you scouted Urban Meyer at all? Or how is his, we talk about all these players and all these kids coming out of college. How does Urban Meyer's coaching style fit into the NFL?
The most quarterback-friendly system there is. You go all the way back to his time at Utah. Alex Smith. Alex Smith was the number one pick. Shouldn't have been, but he was in large part because of Urban Meyer. He highlights Tim Tebow. I mean, good gosh. You can go on and on and on and on. Wherever he goes, quarterbacks succeed because it's a quarterback-friendly system. It's an evolution of the spread where he stretches people horizontally or vertically on the field and basically makes you choose, and it's an easy read system, a quick read system.
So you can do that in the NFL, though?
It's becoming more and more so. Cliff Kingsbury, I don't think, has done a very good job of it. Kind of this like air raid system in Arizona. It's translated okay, but I don't think they've had like a top 15 offense once since he's been there. But with these new quarterbacks, wide receivers, and play callers finding their way into the NFL, we're seeing it more and more and more. It's there. Hasn't been widely successful yet, but I think he's going to have a chance to kind of implement that more so. Yeah.
Is he going to be more successful than Chip Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, Chip Kelly, he made the playoffs, I think, 2 years in a row with Philly. I think he will be. Chip Kelly just freaking, how do I say this? Okay, Chip Kelly is like the destroyer of worlds. Like, he doesn't care about relationships, burns bridges everywhere he goes until people run him out of town with a pitchfork. Urban Meyer's the exact opposite. You're going to have a fake health crisis or something where he's just going to walk away. Almost all those things have to do with the female variety, and he wants to hide them under, all the, health. No, it's not health. One of the best videos ever is whenever he gets caught texting one of the players on the freaking, what's it called? Jumbotron at Florida. And then the next day, health issues. He's going to have to step down. He enjoys his time.
Yeah.
So no co-eds, so that might be better for him.
Yeah. It was, I have a love-hate relationship with Urban Meyer. I mean, he brought me so much joy, right, over the few years that I was there. Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. But then, kind of just, fucked us by leaving a little too soon.
He's the definition of that sleazy used car salesman, which I think you have to be in the competitive college football world. It turns you into that. And that dude, he is a ladder climber, and he doesn't give a shit about anybody.
So, I mean, I envy that a little bit, right? Because in professional world, like, I've kind of done the same thing. I've, done my best at places, and then when I hit my ceiling, I move on. He kind of did that as well, going all the way down to Bowling Green. Yeah. I mean, he did what he could, and he had really good teams, and he's like, I'm out of here. And he kept going. And
I'm a Longhorn fan, Texas Longhorns, and there were a lot of rumors he was going to be going. This was before he took the Jacksonville job. I didn't want him. And, I'm arguing with my buddies, and they're like, dude, if we get him, we win. You're right. You will. But we're not a professional sports team. This is college football. Like, I would not send my child to play for Urban Meyer at the college level. No, I would not. Having said that, there are a lot of people I feel that way, but I'm very strong about. I don't see college sports I don't know. I think integrity matters. I do not see him as a high integrity person, but he's a damn good football coach. And so in the NFL, you don't have to have integrity. Yeah, there's no Adam Gase exists, right? So you go be you, man. And so I love the fact that he's in the NFL, not college. And he can do whatever the hell he wants and just focus on football. I think he will have success. I don't think the Jags make the playoffs or anything, but I think they're going to be all right.
Cool. Really quick, I'm going to do something a little selfish here.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah. I'm going to play a clip here from My Wife's Mad at Me podcast. Don't forget, you can download it everywhere.
Hold on,
everywhere
what are
it's
you
available.
doing?
Playing a clip from today's episode that you can find. Now, John, I have 2 clips here. I have one that may or may not be edited. And then I have
That's a weird ass statement. It means it's edited.
Maybe I should just play that one because people are like, what the hell are you talking about? And second, I have just a quick clip explaining who you are and just explain who you are and that you're and who you're not. So you pick which one. Yeah, 2 really vague things.
Let's go with the edited or not edited. Why not?
Okay.
Let's throw it out there.
Right,
the suspense is killing me.
Here, I'm gonna play it now.
Over the course of, I don't know, I've known you for 3 years, maybe 4 years, through the internet. We have like an internet relationship.
It's funny, we don't really, I don't think we've ever gone over kind of how we got to know each other. I just emailed Dale out of random. This is a test of manhood, Dale, and unfortunately, you were found wanting. But what's beautiful is, and I think this is kind of, what encompasses life and the beauty that is what we have.
You came into my life just to teach me lessons, to teach me life lessons.
I will say we still have a very good relationship with that. The love is still there. You're a good guy, Dale. You're a good guy. It's just who you are.
Yeah.
You're not going to change your behavior for anybody.
No.
You're just going to continue to be the guy that you are.
Yeah,
which I love about.
Thanks, man. I love you.
Seeing my love for you, but
we're best friends. That's best friends love each other. Wait, were you a high school football coach?
I was. I'm sorry, I didn't know I told you about this. I was a high school football coach. That's correct.
Interesting.
I guarantee you this: there are other people that have sex with dolls and love their dolls. Still, one of the best days of my entire life. So thankful that took place. Somehow, every time Dale is on a podcast, it gets steered down this path. Just every single time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's the weirdest thing you would have sex with. He used to be a high school football coach. I don't know if we mentioned that.
This Dale, I love what you put out there, man. The world's a better place the more you talk.
All right, and we're back. Those of you listening, just audio form, no, that was from my podcast. My wife's mad at me. Shameless plug. Thanks to everybody who's shown support so far. John, and you said what you said. So it is what it is. I'm sorry. I just brought it to light.
I love the fact that you spent that time of your life.
Way too much time.
Like, this is what I need to create for the world. And
yeah. I think that's mostly why my wife's mad at me. She complains all the time. What I don't tell her like half the things. Like, I have it right behind me. I have a picture of you.
I see that. Very nice.
I was like, hey, look, this is funny. I got a picture of John, mounted on my shelf. She's like, you have time to go to Walgreens and print out pictures. And I've been asking you for 4 days. I was like, sorry. So I didn't tell her that I went and got pictures of everybody else either, but
I'll text her. I'll let her know.
Anyways. All right. Getting back to football, Mac Jones, his headline, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions last year, 4,500 yards, played for Alabama. Alabama team or school that doesn't necessarily produce high-end quarterbacks, right? So what's so different about Mac Jones?
He does have some fun traits that transfer. You look at Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl this year, defeating Aaron Rodgers, who's a better quarterback, talent-wise, all those things, defeating Patrick Mahomes, who I think is a better quarterback currently, right? That's what I'm talking about here, not longevity or whatever. But he won because he didn't make mistakes and he was surrounded by a quality team. That's the succession plan for Mac Jones is exactly that. I call him the fish tank, right? The goldfish. The goldfish grows according to its environment.
Yeah.
That's who this is. He played on probably one of the greatest college football teams of all time, offensive line, backs, wide receivers, bananas. But Mac Jones was great. Whenever Devonta Smith, the Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver, was asked, who do you prefer, Tua or Mac Jones? He should have answered, but instead he goes, oh, Mac Jones. Like he zero hesitation. So he's a field general, super accurate, knows where he's going with the ball, reads the defense, chess kind of mentality. But you're limited on the physical traits. My player comp for Mac Jones is Joe Burrow without the movement skills and without the strong arm. He can throw it deep. And you look at his numbers, he threw the 33 out of 56 deep balls were completed. Those are balls that traveled more than 20 yards in the air. That's stupid. The most ever completed on a shortened season. So he has the arm, but you're not seeing lasers. It's much more of a Drew Brees, high arc, deep ball. That's fine. It works. But he started the same number of games as Trey Lance, 17 career starts, spot duty for Tua when he was hurt. And then he took over this year. He's a great quarterback. He's going to go in the first round. He's going to go top 15 picks probably, but I don't think anybody's like, man, I really hope we wind up with Mac Jones. The top 4 guys can be the best in the NFL. Obviously, 2 of them are going to bust, but the tools are there where you can see the translation to, man, this guy, it makes sense that he could possibly be the best in the NFL. I don't think you can say that about Mac Jones.
Right. Where do you have him going?
Man, right now, if you look at kind of teams, I think it's going to be whatever team can't trade up. You have the 49ers at 12. I think that's the earliest he'll go. New England at 15 would be the perfect spot. You draft him, you got Cam there, let him sit. You drop down, Washington, definitely. They just signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, still think it's a spot. Chicago, there are spots where I think he would fit very, very well. Pittsburgh, maybe he doesn't really fit what they like to do. They like that strong arm quarterback, but there are some options. New Orleans, I think, would be perfect as well. New Orleans would be the best place for him. Let him sit 1 year behind those 2 wannabe quarterbacks, and then he takes over.
What's the deal with Taysom Hill?
He's a gadget guy, and he had a really high guarantee this year. And so they just put out the crazy deal, but it has no guaranteed money. I have as much of a chance to be quarterback next year for the Saints as Taysom Hill does. That contract is crazy bananas. It's not happening.
Interesting. I'm interested in knowing the business side. I mean, I know we only know a little bit of information, but, in Taysom Hill's restructuring or whatever he did, right, in New Orleans, like there had to have been like his agent be like, wait a minute, if we take this, there's no guaranteed, and this is the direction they're going. I mean, there had to have been a conversation. Or is it just, hey, let me go out there and prove it, bet on myself?
So they needed him to restructure. The Saints are in cap hell. Right. So they needed him to restructure to get some cap relief in 2021 with the shortened cap because of COVID and all those things. So, but they want to keep him, obviously. So they basically said this, look, we're going to restructure. Here's why it works for Taysom Hill. Let's say Taysom Hill goes off and he's the quarterback of the future and he proves that. He's going to be paid like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. But if he's not, then they're able to walk away. So he's betting on himself. He's like 32. He's old, but it's not happening, man. It's not happening.
Not happening. All right. One thing that I got from that was Mac Jones is like a goldfish. Did you know? And I grew up, and the whole time I always thought this was true. So if you feed a goldfish too much, they continue to eat, and they eat so much, and they have bad short-term memory. And so they'll just keep eating and forget that they ate. So they'll just keep eating, not because they're hungry, but because the food is there. I thought that my whole life. Apparently that's not true. What kills them, they will eat the food, but that's not what kills them. What kills them is if you feed them too much, the stuff in the fish food will kind of poison the water and kill them. Just a little fun fact.
Interesting.
Also, this is really interesting. So my dad had a little koi pond out in his front yard.
Of course,
and
hashtag bougie.
No, it wasn't like that.
My dad had a koi pond as well.
Yeah. Every redneck with that has a hole in their front yard can have a koi pond.
Hold on, real quick. Not a redneck, white trash. Know the difference. That does not apply to me.
Koi can get struck by lightning, and if they do, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. If they do, their bodies will become like a C-shaped, and they'll just swim in circles. It's really funny. Yeah, they get kind of like paralyzed and then stay like this.
Almost made really a terrible joke, man. I want to say jokes, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Right, I hear you.
But I'm gonna say it. Do you rename the fish Stephen Hawking, or do you just like?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I
Stephen
contribute
Hawking,
financially
Chris-
to the ALS community
Yeah.
every year. There we go.
There you go. Nobody's listening. I don't think is going to be offended because
I'm
we
sure
lost them a long
somebody
time
is.
ago.
That's
True.
okay.
That's true. Anyways, yeah, goldfish are really interesting. By the way, I know you talked a lot about you are a teacher. You know a lot about coaching, I guess. Were you a coach in high school?
Yes, Dale. I believe we've talked about this before. I was a high school coach,
Okay.
a football coach. That is correct.
Interesting. Good deal. And where at? In somewhere in Texas or something?
Yeah, Dallas, Texas. That's correct.
That's awesome. Cool. Okay. All right. Last guy I want to talk about. He's the biggest of these quarterbacks. He's not huge. Is there a difference between a 6'3" quarterback and a 6'5" quarterback?
Yes.
Okay. So he's 6'5", 240. Go Gators. The most funny thing about his stats, and it bugs me, 68.9% completion rate. So close.
So close.
So close. Anyways, tell me more about Kyle Trask.
He's interesting. He's goldfish, right? I think if he would have came out 15 years ago, he would have been first round quarterback. He kind of represents the old school mentality, the big body, strong arm, kind of Big Ben. I call him poor man's Big Ben, and not as an insult. I think he has a lot of those same qualities. You'll see him a lot of times. Rushers will like grab part of his jersey and he just kind of throws them off and then completes the ball. So if you're looking at, and a lot of this is kind of the Patrick Mahomes effect, NFL teams put a premium now on off-platform throws and scrambling for first downs, extending the plays. You don't see that with this guy. He's got the heaviest damn feet I've ever seen. You watch the scouting tape. There's no sound, right? But you can hear his damn feet hit the ground every time he tries to run. He's got clunkers, man. It's like you want to play the clown music or whatever, but he does move rather well. He's just got super heavy feet. He's so big. But NFL body, NFL arm, all those things. And really, you could probably attest to this better than I can. That bowl game against OU totally left a terrible taste in your mouth. Yeah. And his whole thing that he was running on was efficiency and not making mistakes. You look at his stats, 43 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. You're like, oh, wow, this guy's been efficient, all those things. That got shredded by this OU defense that isn't even good. And then you look at the targets he's throwing to. Kyle Pitts will be the top drafted tight end in the past 20 years. Kadarius Toney, he's going to be a first round corner as well, or wide receiver. He's got so much talent around him, man. You're going to have to see that at the next level. So I don't know. He's really bad against pressure, and that bothers me very, very much, because if he goes to a team with a bad offensive line, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be over before it starts. But he can't be successful. His best landing spot would be Pittsburgh. Round 2 to Pittsburgh, which I think is a little early. I've got a 3rd round grade on him, but quarterbacks always get pushed up. But if he landed in Pittsburgh, that would be the best place for him.
Because he, like you said, he's just another Big Ben. So they just say, hey, here you go. Keep him behind Big Ben for a year or whatever. Maybe. How long do you think Big Ben has? Another year or 2?
6 weeks.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the dumbest move, bringing him back. You cannot win a championship with the way Big Ben plays and the way they call their plays. I hear somebody like, dude, they went 12-0. Yeah, I get that. Are you going to bench him for the first 8 weeks and then let them do that? Because they had negative yards rushing in multiple games in a row. The dude's 45. He's fatter than I am.
He is fat.
I'm good, man.
He's so fat. Now you talked about Kyle, Pitts, the tight end for Florida. What's his first name? Pitts.
Kyle.
Kyle. I was going to say Kyle, but then I saw Kyle Trask and I was like, wait a minute. Anyways, you think he is the best tight end prospect to come out in 20 years? Is that serious?
I don't think he's a tight end. I think if he just was a wide receiver, he'd be a first round pick.
Really?
Yeah, he's that damn talented. He's that explosive. 6'5", 6'6", different sizes out there on him. He's that damn good of a wide receiver. And the cool thing is in the SEC, you see him go against J.C. Horn, who's a first-round corner, Patrick Surtain, first-round corner. You see him body these guys up and have no problem whatsoever. So I do think, he's a little bit more Vernon Davis-esque. Not that their body types or play style are similar, but he's going to have to work on blocking. He can block. He doesn't like to block. So you'll see some plays in Florida where he puts his hand in the ground and he'll body up a defensive end one play, and you're just like, whoa, what the hell? This guy's incredible. Right. And then he'll watch two guys and just kind of tap them. He doesn't like contact. He wants to be out wide and all those things, but there's a premium in that. Look at what Travis Kelce almost led the entire NFL in receiving last year from the tight end position. George Kittle, Darren Waller. He is Darren Waller, but better in every way. So
really?
Yeah, he's that athletic, but you remove all the red flags. Darren Waller has passed all that stuff, whatever else. Glad he's overcome it. Big fan of him on the field, but he's better than that. Wow. Day one, he will be one of the top tight ends.
It's so hard to look at tight ends, especially rookies, but just really any tight end, and
they don't translate.
Yeah, that for sure. But also, there's always a question of, is this team built for a tight end, or do they just not have a good pass catching tight end? You look at some teams. I don't know. I can't even think of a. Let's say.
I kind of want to help you here, but I'm enjoying you struggle through teams that don't use tight ends.
Yeah. Give me one.
Give you one what, Dale?
Give me a team that doesn't use tight ends, or do they not use tight ends because they don't have one, or do they not use tight ends because they don't want one?
Yeah, I think Arizona was probably one of the ones that stood out, but it kind of makes sense. Again, we talked earlier about how Cliff Kingsbury has not adjusted very well. He just has not. His scheme to the NFL. He's tried. He was a bunch of 5 wide receiver sets. That didn't work. 4 wide receiver sets. That's not working. His quarterback's getting the crap beat out of him. So the struggle is there. But, you got to figure out what's going on. Jacksonville, one of those places, I don't think that they have a shot to get him, but they've struggled with tight end play. The Jets struggled with tight end play. Those are out there. Miami, you would put in the category, but when Tua showed up, all of a sudden, Mike Gesicki's a hell of a player. Who would have guessed Tua would bring that out of him? Fitzpatrick couldn't do it, but Tua, they got an instant connection. I would have said the best place Kyle Pitts to go would be New England, but they just signed 2 tight ends in 2 days. So that's not the place there. Dallas would be interesting. I think it'd be a stupid pick. They need help on defense, but Jerry Jones, he's all about the show and selling tickets, which that would do. But that team kind of stands out to me. Team that just doesn't use the tight end position well.
Okay. So we talked all about quarterbacks, and we're going to get going soon. One, out of everything today, I realized that I'm a goldfish. I feel, I'm just stuck in this fishbowl of Eat Sleep Fantasy. I need to have a bigger bowl to grow, man. That's the problem. That's been the problem all along. I didn't realize it until we just had this conversation. And it's like, what am I doing here at this little podunk podcast? I need to be, I don't know, Barstool or ESPN or something, right?
Ooh, you just said Barstool?
I like Barstool. You don't?
I'm good, man.
You just don't like Dave Portnoy? Is that the problem? Or you just don't like?
I don't believe in doing things just to get clicks.
Yeah.
I'm not a Skip Bayless. I'm not. That's just no.
Yeah, I got you.
No.
I got you. That makes sense. Okay. No. Give me just really quick. We won't dive into it. Maybe a running back or two. I'm curious. There's some on the edge running backs that you're not really sure of this year, right? What incoming running back can cock block for a team? I told you we're playing this cock blocking game.
I don't know what that is, but that's okay. I'll tell you this. Javonte Williams from North Carolina. A lot of people have him number 3 or 4. Don't be shocked. This guy could be the best running back in this class. Just explodes, smart as hell, had a 4.6 GPA coming out of high school. Just amazing team leader. How many teams at the college level, their captain, their team leader is the running back? It doesn't happen often. He is, I'm telling you right now, wherever he goes, I don't like first round running backs usually and draft capital. Wherever he goes, watch out. I don't care who's ahead of him.
Really?
This guy, I'm telling you right now, he's going to be good. He's going to be really good.
What's his name?
Javonte Williams, 5'10", 220, just a brick house, does everything well, no holes in his game. Really, really like him. And a late round guy that I'm really big on too, Puka.
Puka? I heard that name.
Yeah, Puka Williams from Kansas, man. Kansas doesn't get a lot of talent, but I'm telling you right now, this kid, he's going to go to a zone scheme, and he is going to flourish. If Kyle Shanahan gets his hands on him, I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a perfect fit. But, you could see the Browns, you could see, the Bengals, you could see the Rams, whatever. Wherever he's a later round guy, probably going to go round 5 or 6. Puka Williams, really like his play.
Okay. I just had to look it up to make sure his real name wasn't Puka. Do you want to take a stab at what his real name is?
It's Puka, and it's not going to change for me. I'm going to say that as much as – why are you cock blocking me using his name?
Let's just call him Anthony Williams, okay? Anthony Williams Jr. We don't need to call him Puka.
Hell no. We call him Debo, right? Debo Samuel. That's not his real name.
What's Debo's real name?
Nobody knows. It's Debo.
Is it? Wait, hold on.
It's not Debo. That was a nickname they gave him because he was a bully when he was a kid.
Right. Oh, Tyshawn Raekwon.
Oh, that's actually pretty fire, actually.
I think it's Tyshawn Raekwon. That's a lot of words. I'd just call him Debo. That makes more sense.
Clean. I like that name.
Yeah. I think I would make a nickname before I got in the NFL, just so people never know my real name.
That's your nickname.
That would be good. Yeah, just call me Goldfish DeMont. And they'd be like, Goldfish can't be his real name. Somebody's Googling me right now saying, no, that's not his. Oh, it is. Dale. Okay, I'll keep calling Goldfish. That makes sense.
Who the hell would Google you?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Google. I think.
Okay, quick question. Have you ever Googled yourself?
I just did.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
It's really weird because I come up and then the guy, and I don't know if this was because my search history or something, but so I come up.
Guys come up because of your search history. Is that what I just heard?
So there's a Dale DeMont on Facebook, and I friend requested him. So he's up there too, but it's really weird.
Why would you friend request somebody else with your same name?
Oh, because I posted it. Because I thought it was really funny. And so I said, hey, we have the same name. Isn't that funny?
There are so many examples for why you and I, we could be friends because we're so different, but man, we're so damn different.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I'm thankful.
There's a lot of weird Dale DeMonts coming up.
Dale, can you stop looking at yourself?
Sorry. Okay. The one thing I am proud of, the first Dale DeMont that comes up is me and Tiffany Amber Thiessen when we hung out that time. Yeah.
You hung out with her?
I mean, I saw her and took a picture.
And then you posted it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
I posted
nice.
on Twitter. It's my Twitter profile thing. She was scared of me for sure. She was pregnant and she held her belly and didn't get too close to me, but she was really nice. It was really nice.
I like how even the way you remember the story is not flattering to you at all.
Yeah.
I respect that, man. I respect that. You get them, Goldfish.
Anyways, John Chapman, former high school football coach, current NFL draft film junkie, 49ers Rush podcast at JL_Chapman, a big part of Eat Sleep Fantasy. My name is Dale, just a goldfish in this tiny little bowl. Thanks, guys, for listening, watching, and don't forget My Wife's Mad at Me podcast available now too. Thanks, guys.
Tune in every week, guaranteed we get it hype. Fantasy, football enthusiasts, I know you plan to be joining us on Eat Sleep Fantasy. Yeah, Eat Sleep Fantasy.
Now you look at his time to throw, averaged over 3 seconds per attempt in the pocket. Nobody got close to him. Amazing offensive line. You can see here, this is against a 4-man. You got a little bit of a delayed blitz, but man, he puts the ball on the spot. I mean, how many quarterbacks, you give them that much time, are they going to be able to make this throw? I'd say most NFL QBs, but he's got the arm. I mean, and he puts it right on the money, back shoulder fade, and you recognize just a couple things that you like here. You can tell that the corner's just in trail technique, not playing the ball whatsoever. Put it on the back shoulder. Let your guy go get it.